Hello and welcome back.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the weekly podcast.
Weekly podcast, but we're doing a part 2 for this special one.
We are.
Because this is going to be completely dedicated to The
Last
Last
of
Us.
Us. Dun, dun, dun,
But I'm back
dun.
in Leeds, and this time I'm not going to get off my train and miss it like I did on the other one.
Well, right, so this episode's going to be intense spoilers.
Yes. Oh, we should say spoiler alert. Mind the gap.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Mind the gap. Cool. There is
So,
going
yeah,
to be spoilers, pure spoilers.
Lots of them. So
The
just,
Last
you
of
know,
spoilers.
Exactly, so if you guys don't want spoilers, then you know what to do.
Avert your eyes. Avert
ears.
your eyes. We're just coming out of the verbal spoiler shower, so avert your eyes, please. Privacy. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, if that's all clear and everyone's happy and people don't mind spoilers, I think we can carry on.
We can indeed. Let's begin. I'm going to search up for a quick play match here, and we're going to jump right in and start talking.
Yeah. So, The Last of Us. Right.
Very, very good game. Very interesting game.
Very interesting game. A game that we're both quite... I mean, we both liked it, but we both are at slightly different stages. I think I'm a lot more sort of alright with it, the ending, and you're a bit more, like many
Mixed
others,
opinions.
agitated. Mixed feelings, yeah.
Mixed feelings indeed. Everyone has their own different opinions about the end of that game, and I am with the majority, I do believe.
I think maybe, yeah. Let's start from the very beginning. Last of Us Part 1 you liked, right? That was...
I loved every part of that, except for the ending again, because like I think everyone knows the ending to that game is pretty lackluster, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I loved the whole way through the Last of Us one. It was just such a
Oh,
legendary
you
game.
didn't like the ending of 1? You weren't
No,
convinced?
'cause
Oh.
No, I wasn't convinced with the ending of Last of Us 1. Same with 2 as well. Don't know
Yeah.
why.
Did you feel that they could have answered more, or that there was more of a satisfactory sort
Absolutely.
of ending?
They left a lot of untied ends, if that makes sense. Loose ends.
Loose ends.
Lots of loose ends. And that they could have sorted out, you know?
Yeah. Why isn't this train moving? Sorry, carry on.
What is your take on the ending of both the games?
I liked the ending of Last of Us 1 because I thought the lie kind of worked. That was the sort of twist, the fact that Joel really risked, pretty much doomed all of humanity by doing this act at the end, which was kind of, I thought was so like insane. Like by that point they've been traveling so long together, this girl is pretty much his daughter, and he doesn't give a damn about the human race and finding a cure. He just wants her to live, which I thought was powerful. I thought that was really
It's
powerful.
dedication, you know. I mean, I do like the ending to that game. It's better than the second game's ending.
Yeah.
But, like, you know.
But yeah, I mean there were things that sort of, you know, were a bit mad. I mean maybe it could have ended at part 1 and they did find the cure. Maybe you should leave things alone, you know. Maybe
Exactly.
maybe he didn't have to lie to her at the end and make everything awkward, and I don't know, but
Maybe he did have to lie.
yeah.
Because
But-
Joel knows the consequences. if he told her
Yeah.
the truth.
He killed. Well, because he dooms the Fireflies, which I'm glad they touched on in 2. Because I was like, oh, they're not going to mention the Fireflies. At the beginning, they talk about how there are no Fireflies anymore. It's a bit like, you know, there are no more Jedi. You know, they're all gone. They're myths, legends.
They executed Order 66 on the Firefly.
Exactly.
Or Joel did.
The meteorite hit on the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs make an appearance in The Last of Us 2.
They do. It's a very nice appearance. It was that scene was just great in my opinion though. That one scene in the game, I don't know, it just melted my heart, you know.
Yeah, they played with time a lot, didn't they? There was a lot of
They
time
did,
playing.
there was lots of flashbacks.
Which worked. I love it when games do that. It did get a bit kind of wibbly in the Last of Us, because obviously you know you're kind of used to just quite a linear story. Like I think the first one didn't. Did the first one have flashbacks? Not really.
No, I don't really think there was many flashbacks except for the. Well, the beginning technically wasn't a flashback, was it? The The prologue or
No,
just
no, not really. It kind of started there. I guess the closest thing to a flashback we got with the first one was Left Behind, wasn't it? The Last of Us Left Behind.
yeah,
How she got bitten and that. Um,
yeah,
oh, leave. This train won't leave. Anyway, you know what? I'm just ignore the train. But yes, part two is very timey, jumpy, time skippy, time hoppity, skippity,
lots of
jumpy.
it. There's lots of time jumps.
And yeah, do you want to talk a bit about the gameplay, like the start? Like how does it begin for us?
Well, you mean the second game, right? How the
Yeah,
gameplay
sorry,
is and
part
all
two. Yeah, yeah.
that.
And did you like it?
The beginning or like the
Yeah,
prologue.
the very beginning. Yeah, from kind of the start.
If I hold on, I'm trying to remember what happened now. Yeah, actually, I did like the beginning, telling Joel talking to Tommy and cleaning the guitar and stuff like that, and that fucking 2 minutes of playtime we got as Joel.
Oh, we did. Yes, we actually got to play as Joel for.
Just
We
for
got
like 2 minutes, nothing intense happened.
it was a bit Red Dead Redemption, wasn't it? It was beautiful
was.
lighting. You had a horse. You know, you were Joel. Oh God, the bit like I loved it when you go up the hill and you just see the town for the first time. I thought
Jackson,
that
yeah.
bit Jackson. That was it. Jackson just looked amazing. And the music, the kind of soft guitar.
Yeah,
'Cause he,
Gustavo did a really good job. I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name because I'll get it horribly wrong. But he did an extremely good job on the music on The Last of Us 2.
yeah, extremely good job. I think because he did the Last of Us Part One as well, didn't he?
He did, which has one of the best soundtracks in the
Yeah,
world.
it does. It has one of the bestest. Santo Alala, I think. Santa Olala. He's oh god, I could be saying that wrong. Um,
I
yeah,
don't want to
he's
try and pronounce it too hard because I'll definitely butcher it and it'll go horribly wrong.
yeah. You know, do you know he has a cameo in the game? Did you know?
Really?
Yes. No, I made a little video on it because I was shocked. I couldn't believe he actually is playing the guitar right. You know, right at the start when you're walking with Jesse.
Yeah.
You know the guy who's your mate in it, who's Ellie's mate. And
Jesse, yeah.
Jesse, yeah. As you're walking together and you're talking about what happened the night before, and there's actually a man playing the guitar sitting on a rocking chair with a dog next to him. Do you remember
I
that?
saw that, but I didn't know it was Gustavo.
Yeah, it's Gustavo. They use his motion capture likeness. There we go. It's given up control. His likeness, and he is in the game. And another
I had no
clue.
idea. I thought it was just some random bloke playing the guitar.
No, it's not. And another way to confirm that is if you go onto they've got model viewer and concept art viewer on the main menu.
Yeah.
If you go on model viewer and go towards the bottom, you can find a mysterious character who resembles that guitar man called Gustavo. I think he's just called Gustavo. But yeah, little Easter egg for you Easter egg hunters.
Wow. I love attention to detail like that.
Yeah, it's very cool. And that kind of leads us into the game, isn't it? Your first bit of combat is snowball fighting, isn't it? Just after that bit, you're having a bit of a...
That's a very clever introduction, I think.
Yeah. Do you remember snowball fighting?
Yeah. I used to love snowball fighting and stuff like that. It was,
Great, wasn't it?
Was great fun.
It was always...
It was awesome fun.
Yeah, it was always annoying when your mates take it too far and pack them into really hard rocks of ice. That always took it a bit too far.
You know, giant ones, like come on.
Yeah, snow. Never eat yellow snow, kids.
It's a snowball, not a snow boulder.
Snowman.
Snowman.
I don't know if you can say snowman anymore. You probably get in trouble. Snow person.
Snow person. That's it.
Yeah,
you have to be careful with the genders, don't you?
Oh, I know. It's so easy.
Person.
It's so easy to step in it these days. So I mean, we won't even.
Human.
But the snow human. Although snow character, yeah, I guess snow alien.
Snow alien.
But the snow. Anyway, we got a bit sidetracked here. With snow aliens. Yeah, so it teaches you a bit of the sort of throwing mechanics, which is a kind of taster of when you end up throwing bottles and bricks and.
Yeah. And then your first actual piece of infected combat is extremely fun.
Yeah, so I mean, after you do that, you end up. Is that where you first transfer into She Who Must Not Be Named?
Yes, the devil herself.
Yes. Yeah. Well, okay. So you wake up as this character who I actually initially thought was Ellie, For some weird reason, I was like, yeah, I don't know. When she's lying down asleep, and I thought, have they jumped forward like 10 years or so? I was like, I don't know why. Just for a second, obviously, when she stood up, I was like, that's not Ellie.
I didn't have any assumptions as to who they were. I'm just like, who are these people? I didn't know who that guy was, who is now Owen.
Owen, yeah, Owen, yeah. I didn't know
who
either.
he was at first. I was super confused. But is it someone we've met before?
Yeah, well, when we started playing as her, I was like, oh, okay, so we're just playing a completely different game. Okay, all right, cool. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
I can do this.
People. I didn't like playing as her. Like, come on, let me play as Ellie. That's what I play. That's why I got this game for.
Yeah, you kind of. Yeah, and it's an intriguing beginning. You know that they're after, or they're looking for somebody. That's what we get from them. And there's obviously, and we will get into exactly who and why and where that is in this video. Don't you worry, people. But
lots of spoilers to go through. Don't worry about that.
First teaches you the combat stuff, doesn't it? What did you think of that segment when you were running around and chatting?
Trying to dodge the runners, yeah.
Why did I say chatting? Fighting.
Chatting to the infected, yeah.
Chatting to the hello. Oh, sorry.
That's actually a really good clicker impression.
Is it? Do you like it? Oh, it hurts though. It makes me not breathe. Okay,
it's actually possible.
God, I hate the clickers so much.
They are my worst nightmare. I see them in my nightmares. I legit do. I close my eyes and I see clickers and like, no.
They're a genius concept. I mean, they don't hear. They don't see you. They literally just have super great hearing, and that's how they find you. That's great.
That's why I find that that's to me is I've always had a big weird fear of fungus. It's always been one of my biggest fears for some reason.
Oh God, you must get terrified in The Last of Us then.
I do actually. It's when they run at you. It's just when when you walk into the woods and you see like it's a damp day and you see like fungus growing on the tree trunks and stumps.
Oh, you don't like that? Oh,
no,
wow.
It grosses me out. It makes me feel scared and like they're gonna poison me or something. And then I see the clickers in the game. And I'm like, hell no! If this apocalypse actually happened in real life, I'd probably kill myself.
Oh my God!
Yeah. There's no point in trying to survive in a fungus-infected world, bro.
Yeah. Oh, a bit before. So I'm going back in time quickly. I just have to talk about this because it's so damn good. Yeah. Joel sings a little song, doesn't he? Just before that flash forward segment.
He does. Troy Baker's singing voice is just.
That song was amazing, and for those of you who don't know, that was Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam are great, but I've heard some of their stuff, but I've never heard that song ever. It's called Future Days.
Sung it very well.
Oh, he sang it so well. That was the most. It was so good.
Because Troy Baker has such an amazing singing voice.
That song ends. Also, funny enough, it ends up. He does. He has the most amazing voice. That game, doesn't it, a little bit, because
it's creepy vibes.
It's exactly. It starts off with, if I ever was to lose you, just like I don't want to lose you, and then eventually one of them does lose the other. We will get to that. And then that song ends up being the kind of memory of the other person. Exactly. If you know, and it sort of becomes. I always found it haunting, even though it's beautiful as the game went on.
I always found it like it kind of choked me up when Joel started to sing. I'm not gonna lie, but it's I forgot what. Oh yeah, you know the guitar playing mechanics when you actually have to like strum on the.
Yeah, I quite like that. Yeah, did you like that?
It was actually very unique, and people can create their own music with it too, can't they?
Yeah, it was so different.
Covering Johnny Depp. Johnny Cash's Hurt.
Johnny Depp. I do play music, mate, but I'm not very good at it.
Johnny Depp. Someone played Johnny Cash's Hurt on it.
I hurt myself today. No, I hurt myself. Feel. Where did I go wrong? No, how does it go? No, what have I can't remember how it goes. I love that song. My special friend. Everyone. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. The end. And you can have it all. Are we gonna get in trouble for using other people's lyrics?
Most likely, but.
Oh, they're never gonna find us.
Does it count if you're singing it? Like.
I don't know.
Copyright.
And I probably got the lyrics wrong, so it's probably fine.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, great
anyway,
song.
Sidetrack there.
Cash.
I think he's called Johnny Cash, right?
Yeah, he is. The Ring of Fire. That man.
Yeah.
Johnny Cash, country singer. He's fantastic.
Good. Yeah. Right. Well, anyway, stop. Let's stop getting sidetracked now.
Yeah,
The
bye bye,
Last
Johnny
of Us
Cash.
2. See you later, Johnny Cash. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Uh, right. Are we delving deeper into the spoiler territory now?
Yes, we are delving deeper into the spoiler territory. So there's this underlying thing going on with Joel and Ellie, and we know that
Absolutely.
they're kind of pissed off with each other.
Hmm.
But there's an awkwardness, and they kind of referred to it early on in the game. They said, "Are you and Joel still not talking? Things still weird with you and Joel."
When Joel starts to and tries to protect Ellie, like for example, you know when in the party in the flashback at the end of the game, where Joel
Yeah.
pushes that person and Ellie's not grateful for his help.
So that flashback, funny enough, was the night before the game begins. Um, Talking of timey-wimey, that was before the game begins. Yeah, they showed that. Funny enough, they showed that before the game came out, like right when it was like introduced. It was like one of the first scenes. But they actually put that scene, the full scene with Joel included, at the very
At
end of
the
the
end.
game,
Yeah.
which I thought was a masterstroke. Yes, Ellie is not a fan of Joel at the moment.
No, they're
Is
not very
she?
they're not very close. They're best of mates. But when the time comes, which we'll talk about later,
Hmm.
she's all right with him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, she's definitely. And now I had a guess when I first played the game, and I think I turned out to be correct. Did you also think the same thing as to why
I
things were
didn't
awkward with them?
I didn't make an assumption. I just decided. Me, when I play games, I always try to I always try to watch things before they happen.
Yeah, well,
I
I thought maybe I'd probably be wrong, but my first thing is, does she know that he lied to her at the end of the first game? Is that what happened? And that's kind of what I get was my best guess, and it turned out to be that, which was a shame. It would have been cool if it was something else, and like she didn't know yet, and then she finds out later. But
yeah
but anyway, it still worked, I guess. So she knows that he lied to her about the fireflies, that he lied to her about being the only infected,
yeah
immune, sorry, person. And they showed that. That was another beautiful scene. You know when she goes back to the hospital and finds the
yeah.
recording. And then they have that talk. She says, "If you lie to me again, I'm gone." And you just his face when she says that, like if because he
Joel's just
loves her.
mortified, bless
It
him.
was like that's like the worst thing you could do to him. It like broke him, like because he
It,
loves her so much.
I mean, I
Yeah,
don't think even if she threatened to leave Joel, I don't think she would have been able to.
yeah.
Cares about him too much for that, I reckon.
I think. Do you know what? I think people just want to know what we think about the big scene. Shall we just move on to the big scene
Let's
and get it
talk
out,
about the big
get it
scene.
just done? Because now
Shall
there is
I say the words?
please do.
Joel is no longer with us.
He is no longer with us.
He's dead. Um,
Joel is dead.
and it was horrible, and I definitely got very teary.
It was the most, yeah, pretty.
Heartbreaking thing. Even though technically, I think we all knew it was coming.
Yeah, I think so. Like they didn't show much of Joel, and he always seemed. They kind of left him out a lot, and I guess that was completely intentional.
I haven't even released, to be honest. I was like, Joel's gonna die. I can just tell. The story has to go somewhere. Ellie has to have some motives for what she's doing,
Yeah,
and Joel's death is definitely that reason. So
yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
It
they
was
didn't shy away, did they? They didn't shy
no,
away from the way they went about it.
not at all. Joel got one
Which,
of the most painful looking deaths in the whole world, bro.
you know,
Uh,
when. Where you gone?
are we going into detail about how he died? Or
I think we should. I think we should
yeah,
bear all and tell everyone.
I don't know about you, but what about that part where she blew his ankle off with a shotgun? Really made me cringe.
Totally overkill. You know, as soon as they were in the room and
You knew something
they
was gonna
said,
go
"Hey,
wrong.
I'm Tommy. This is my brother Joe. Hey guys." I literally like they tensed up, and I was streaming it at the time, and I literally just went, "Oh shit!" And then I was like, "Fuck! Why would they tell them? Why would they tell them your
Especially,
real names? Their real
especially when
names?"
Joel goes, "You're acting like you've heard of us,"
Yeah.
and then
Okay. The slight issue in terms of issues that I had with that was like it didn't feel in character at all. It feels like Joel and Tommy are really smart, right? Why would they tell strangers? I mean, these guys could have been cannibalistic psychopaths for all they know. It seemed a bit odd that they would tell them their names.
I
Like,
think,
do you know? Did you feel
well
that?
because Abby, that we've given the name away. I've said it now.
Abby.
Abby when she was a child, right? Big spoilers are coming up again. When she was a child, Joel to her dad.
Yes, in the final level of the first game, when you're in the hospital, when you're rescuing Ellie from the hospital bed, you have to shoot, or at least get rid of, these 3 surgeons that are operating on her. Unfortunately, one of those surgeons, the one with the scalpel, who comes right up in to you and is just like, you can't do this, happens to be someone else's dad. That's the point, by the way. Before you kill or murder anyone, just remember that could be someone's dad or mum,
and
they will fucking come for you, and they will beat you up with a baseball bat. No, with a golf club. So don't kill people's kids or dads,
exactly.
boys and girls.
Basically, so as much as we don't like Abby, she had her motives.
Yeah. Yes. She had her motives. And the fact that her dad was not a bad person. He was a surgeon, probably one of the last surgeons on the planet. And he was, and he was a caring person. We saw from the zebra flashback scene, he was a caring.
He cared about the zebra's safety.
He did. He cared about the zebra's safety. And actually, Abby and her team, who we are made to hate in that scene, it does turn out, I'm jumping ahead a bit, we could talk about this a bit later, but it does turn out as you get to know them that they're not just crazy people. They're actually the opposite. They're actually more like Ellie and Joel. And if these people had joined forces and become a team, can you imagine, instead of being enemies, it would have been the best thing. But
imagine Ellie and Abby on the same team.
Exactly. Imagine them on the... Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what we're going to say now. What were you going to say?
The way they did Joel was extremely graphic. It started off, they beat Tommy to a pulp. They shot him in the leg.
Joel, blew his ankle off.
Held him down, and then first she beat the hell out of him, but the thing is, then it switches to Ellie, and you have to then run to try and save Joel. And it's so tense. Do you know what I felt from? Have you ever read or seen The Walking Dead?
No, I've never read any comics, but I've definitely read. I've definitely watched the series lots of times. Why?
Hello, can you hear me? Controller died.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, thank God you were talking. No, I was going to say. Spoilers. I'll keep the spoiler free. But in The Walking Dead, there is a scene where main character or two gets killed right in front of you in a really kind of graphic way. I literally haven't felt that disturbed by a scene since that scene or that page in the comics, because I saw both, and it was kind of like that. It was like extremely in your face. It didn't hold back. And the thing is, like, I don't have an issue with the killing of a main character if it serves the story well. If it really, if there's a reason for it and it's going to serve the story, I can kind of forgive them. And I do think that it did help the story move forward in terms of Ellie. It's then about vengeance, complete vengeance. Like, Ellie has to have her revenge. She can't sleep, she can't eat, she can't do. It's this person who killed pretty much her dad, just like Abby killed her.
Who has fathered her since she was 14 years old.
Yeah, exactly. And who she, could never really forgive. Like, part of her thing's guilt, not just vengeance, guilt. She's angry at herself because she was never able to forgive him.
No, so Joel died without an apology from Ellie or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. Although they did show... Oh, yeah, go on.
So basically, Joel died thinking that Ellie hated him, and he was terrific.
But do you know what? I did think that, but you know what I remembered the other day? They did show that one scene in the epilogue, just at the very end, where they're saying hi. It's still awkward, and Ellie says, "I don't think I can forgive you, Joel, but I'd like to try." Do you remember that?
His heart just
that
made me cry.
Yeah, I'm so glad they added that in, because even though it wasn't quite closure, it still gave him hope, because he did break down after that, because it just meant the world to him that she said that. But it did mean that. So I'd like to think that deep inside, he knew, even as he was being beaten to fuck, that Ellie would forgive him and loves him. And
the reason I fell in love with all the characters so much in that game, they're so human and they're so relatable, and even the villains, they're not crazy people. They're people who have motives and people who
two-dimensional sort of panto villains. I'm evil, I'm going to be an evil person.
Exactly. But that's what Naughty Dog made us think at first. These people are bad. These people need to die. When in fact Ellie needed to die. Joel needed to die.
Yeah.
Hmm?
No, no, exactly. Like they did kind of need to do something to shake it up, and it really did piss off a lot of people. And I do understand like why, but I I just think it did serve the story. It drove the rest of the story, and it was so disturbing, man. Like I remember I had to mute myself, and then they show that scene where you're in Joel's house and you're walking around. And
Yeah.
I found some interesting things actually. Like for one thing, there's a photo next to the kettle, like when you're walking around there, and Ellie and Joel are sitting at a dinner table, but they're like opposite each other, not really looking at each other, and they're kind of like you can kind of tell that they kind of went through those months with this huge secret. Like Ellie's immune; she's basically the cure for mankind, and Joel stopped the cure for mankind.
Joel
Basically,
didn't want her to die, you know.
exactly.
Basically, Joel could have sacrificed one life for possibly billions, but he
Exactly.
didn't. It was the other way around. He sacrificed billions of lives for one.
Exactly, billions of lives for one, because
Because how
yeah,
much he cares.
because how much he cares, how much he loves her, and he couldn't bear to not have her around, and he lost his daughter, and he found a new daughter in the new world, and it,
Exactly. And he didn't want to lose that again.
oh yeah, uh, uh, fireflies. Now we did learn throughout the game that Abby and her, at least Owen, I'm not sure about the others, but at least those two were actually fireflies at one point. Which I thought was pretty cool. The fireflies are
Yeah.
supposed to be destroyed, yet they do kind of start appearing, don't they, throughout the game and get more and more prominent.
Lots more of them start popping up. Marlene does make a comeback in one of the flashbacks, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does actually. She does make it. Yeah, with the surgeon when they're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad they
And
included her.
Marlene included Joel. Do you remember she said Joel has a right to know? Joel's travelled halfway
Yeah.
across the country. He has a right to know.
So she wasn't just this heartless woman that we
No,
thought was a bit of a biatch. She was actually
exactly.
pretty human and alright. She was reluctant in this. She didn't actually want to do it.
Exactly. Joel wanted, and she decided she'd let Joel know that Ellie was gonna die.
Hmm.
You know, maybe if she didn't tell Joel that, maybe Ellie
Yeah.
would have died.
Maybe she shouldn't have said anything really. Yeah. But one really cool part, when you're playing as Abby and you're in California or wherever it is, it's really hot right at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And you actually find that in the place in the cellar, and you get in touch with fireflies, and apparently there are fireflies still alive, operating somewhere in the bloody, I can't remember where. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That's really cool. Do you remember that? So she goes on the radio and she's with that kid. She's with the kid, and then she's like, "Oh, well, did you look at that?" Well, we don't know for sure if they were fireflies, but they claim to be a faction of fireflies, like leftover fireflies, still trying to be fireflies, which I think opens the door for so many possibilities for a new game. Like, there's so much,
Yeah.
what, like Abby now knows Ellie exists. Abby is a firefly, and if the fireflies find out that Ellie exists, will they come after her? Is she still their property because they want to find the cure?
Ellie will single-handedly wipe them all out, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think she will. And I also think that Abby and Ellie's story isn't done yet. I think they've still got more to do.
Well, speaking of that, then let's move on to the ending, shall we?
The ending, yes, let's move on to the ending. So, what did you think of
boy.
the ending?
The ending. Once again, lots of loose ends. Lots of. It wasn't much closure, and well, I was just left very unsatisfied. The ending was good, but like it wasn't like as good as I wanted it to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was quite a tragic ending, or sort of. I mean, Ellie found this perfect idyllic life. She had someone she loved, a child, and she said, "Look, if you go away, I'm gone." Like, her goal was like, "I'm gone. You go, I'm gone. Like, I ain't sticking around." And but Ellie couldn't let it go, so she went off. And then when she came back, that was it. Like Dina had packed up and gone. That's it. Left her. So that vengeance cost her everything. She didn't die, but she lost everything that she cared about.
Exactly.
And I think that was really sad, including two fingers. And when she's playing the guitar that very last time, That's the timer. Should we
Yeah.
just go on more than half an hour?
Well, let's talk about the ending for a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk
and
about
then
it. Yeah, when she's lost the two fingers, did you notice she plays the guitar at the end, and she can't. If I ever was to lose you, whatever it is, and she can't kind of play the notes properly. Like she can't even play the guitar, and the guitars were the most symbolic things, the most symbolic
the only thing
items
that
in that
reminded her
game.
of Joel.
Yeah, but she couldn't do it. She couldn't even play the guitar. So literally lost everything. Lost the guitar, lost her lover, lost her kid, lost her her stuff.
And
Like,
didn't even get her revenge.
didn't even get her revenge. Oh yeah, I jumped ahead a bit to the epilogue. Actually, that fight that they have is one of the most dirtiest fights I've ever seen. That shit was
It's
disturbing.
just so raw.
They were just fucking like smacking the shit out of each other, drowning each other, stabbing each other. Like it was horrible.
It was so gritty, wasn't it?
That shit was nasty. Like that was like
all of that was how angry Ellie was, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and we could tell because Abby didn't want to do it. She was like, "I'm not going to fight you. I'm good. I'm done." And she put a knife to the kid, and it was just like, "Look, fight me, or I don't think she would have done it. I don't know, but she
Ellie would have done it. She's Ellie. Come on.
And exactly, and just like with Joel, as soon as she threatened the child, that's it. The fight was on, and they were fighting. Boom, boom. But they didn't kill each other. Ellie had the chance. She had the moment.
Ellie was drowning the shit out of her.
She was, dude.
And
Literally.
then she had a flashback, didn't she? And then Joel
She
was
saw.
like,
She saw a moment of Joel.
Yeah,
she
and
saw a moment.
Joel was looking at her and said, "Don't."
Yeah, it was her thinking of Joel and thinking it's not what he would have wanted, or if it was her thinking of Joel and thinking of, I don't know, like an eye for an eye.
She'll get to see him again anyway, maybe.
Yeah, and I don't know. And also she might know that Joel was a father figure for her. Yeah, Abby's been a father figure. I forgot what the kid's called now. The cool kid with the bow. I've forgotten all the other characters. It was Dev.
Lev,
that was it. Lev. Dev, the developer. Sorry, Lev. Yes, Lev. Lev was a great character, by the way. I really like Lev. Lev. Yeah, Lev was the Ellie that Ellie used to be. And Ellie got a quick glimpse at how much Abby cared for Lev, and Ellie suddenly become the villain, and Abby and Lev are the sort of, obviously they're still kind of villainous now, but you know what I mean. They've become the Last of Us couple, if you know what I mean. Whereas Ellie's now the savage murderer who just wants hell bent on revenge and killing.
Exactly. But I feel like the look that Joel gave her in that little flashback of that glimpse she had was basically Joel was saying, "Don't. It's not worth it. This isn't what I want. Don't do it." You know. Joel didn't want her to get revenge.
No, exactly. He didn't. And
Joel just wanted her to be happy. You know.
Yeah, and we don't know where she went after that, really. I mean, she went back to the house, but then after that she went off. So I really, really hope that we can get a part 3, because there's just, where's Ellie? Like, is she going to rebuild her relationship? The Fireflies, the Cure, like, is she the only immune person? Like, all sorts. Make it into a trilogy, and
then round it all off in the third game.
Because one of the most tragic things is that when Ellie first meets Joel, he saves her life. Like, he literally saves her. Like, the character Joel's turned into in this one, he's this softer kind of, and I think he really let his guard down. If it was Joel from part 1, he would have turned them all into raspberry jam. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who into raspberry jam?
Like, all of the villains. Like, he would have destroyed all of them. He would have killed them all.
Yeah. Joel would have drowned Abby there and then.
You know what I mean? He would have just wiped out their entire. Then
he would have gone to the Firefly location where they were going.
Yeah.
And killed them all.
Yeah. Oh god, talking of Joel and being lovely in flashback scenes, like the dinosaur scene where they go back for a birthday was great, wasn't it? Did you remember that?
That was so heartwarming. It's so wholesome.
Oh, that was one of my favourite bits in it. I'm glad they added that in.
It was just so peaceful,
Another person. Oh, funnily enough, so Tommy at the very end of Last of Us Part 2. Now, tell me if I might be wrong here, but I could see Tommy as an antagonist in the next game.
Yeah, like, he did get his anger up a little bit.
Because he was so angry, and he's kind of gone mad with vengeance, a bit like how Ellie has. But he also got so mad at Ellie when she just wanted her peaceful life and didn't want to get involved. And
Exactly.
we know Tommy loves her. He's like, her a coward. Don't how could you do this? How could you?
When we got back to Jackson, you swore you'd get revenge.
Yeah, I
Look
could
at
see
him.
him totally being some sort of governor-like character, and then kind of just evil. Not evil. You shouldn't say evil. It's not really black and white in these things, but it's like,
Just driven crazy by revenge.
yeah. But Abby and Ellie definitely, I don't think they've ended there. They've got this connection now, whether it's a good one or a bad one. They've got some sort of connection. I don't think we've seen the last of their conflict, or at least some sort of They haven't had the closure yet. They haven't. I don't
Exactly.
think. But I found myself at the very end of the game, feeling like it was very, very Godfather or Scarface. They just destroy themselves in trying to protect their family or do the right thing, what they thought they should be doing. They end up losing everything, cost them everything, and
Yeah.
yeah,
It took everything from Ellie getting revenge,
it did. But overall, yeah, we there were pros and cons with it, but I really did quite like it.
Don't get me wrong, the ending was good, but it just wasn't. It left me feeling empty, like there was too many loose ends,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my humble opinion on everything about The Last of Us 2.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I have so much more to say, but I should stop because it'll probably just go in circles and I'll just rant
And I
all
hope
day.
you folks have your own opinions.
Yeah, have your own opinions. Play the game. Honestly, do give the game a try. Don't listen to. You don't have to listen to us. Yeah, you don't have to listen to us. Don't listen to just what YouTubers say, because I can admire. I don't agree with their opinion at all, and I like or even I've heard some people who haven't played it who've made an opinion, and that's fine. But honestly, the best thing to do is at least try it, or at least watch a let's play of it, even if you don't want to part with your money or something.
Exactly.
And
just give the game a shot before you go judging it, yeah?
Yeah, honestly do, because it is so worth it. And at the very least, things that I think everyone can agree were good, like the graphics, the way it looks. I mean,
It's a masterpiece in my opinion.
Yeah, like it looks great. Like the graphics are incredible. The acting's great. I like the writing as well.
Listen to rumors and leaks.
Rumors and leaks.
That's
Yeah.
why you shouldn't listen to them.
Yeah. Of course, if you're listening to this, you don't mind spoilers, and you probably know what happened, so you've probably formed your own opinion.
Yeah, this half of the episode is for people who have played the game.
Yeah. There's probably a million things that we've forgotten, or that we're gonna stop the recording now and be like, "Oh, I wanted to say that," but we nothing lasts forever. Maybe we can make a part 2 of this one day or something.
Exactly.
But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us again on
Thank you for joining
next episode
us.
of the weekly podcast. Thank you again
Weekly
for having
podcast.
me, Apocolex.
No problem. Thank you for having me on yours. And don't forget, our next podcast, we are going to be joined by special guest Millennia Hunter from
Absolutely.
Millennia Productions. I'm really excited.
I'm very excited.
Really excited. Who is
So check out his
responsible?
channel. We'll drop links in the description for this.
We will do. We'll do this. Millennia Hunter is. Check out Mrs. Bangle, and check out Millennia Hunter on Dreams. Also, I made 3 videos on his work, and there's Mrs. Bangle Loves Bread, Googly Eyes, The Nightmare I Had When I Was 10, whatever it's called, and the third one, which is Fair Like Carnival. All really strange nightmares that he had that he has personified into dreams, and he's incredible. Honestly, his work is really good. Mrs. Bangle's a character he's created.
I find that
He's really
quite
cool.
funny. These are all based on nightmares he's had, and
Yeah.
he's made them in dreams.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's hilarious.
That's creative.
But Millennia Hunter will be joining us. We're going to have a ton of questions for him. So do tune in, because we're going to be asking questions that we want answered as well, because we want to get good at YouTube and dreams. So join us for our special guest, Millennia Hunter, in
very
the
excited for this.
next video. We are very excited for this. So we've got a big
Thank you
treat
so
for
much
you.
for joining us again on the weekly podcast.
Thank you. Yeah,
And
weekly
for now-
podcast. For now, Toodaloo.
Toodaloo, everybody.